and they have learned how to do this work for the country. I thank you for not only showing us the way, but leading the way of the engineering sector in Uganda. I'm sure it is you, JICA, that has worked on the bridge and has worked on the flyover, and we know when you leave, our people will be here to maintain. Thank you very much. I beg to second.
Thank you. Thank you very much, member for Bukoto. Can I now have Tororo County?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I join my colleagues to support the motion and to appreciate JICA and the JICA government for the support they have continued to give us as a country. JICA has stood with us. JICA has complemented the roles of government by supporting us in water projects, vocational education, agriculture, to mention but a few. I thank really the Japanese government and the taxpayers of Japan for sacrificing the resources that would have been used elsewhere, but to support the projects here in Uganda. I only want to add my voice to Musana that for us in Tororo, we appreciate these services, but how I wish you could extend them nearer there such that we can continue to enjoy the privilege that the rest of the country is enjoying with a good relationship that the Japanese government through JICA is offering to this country. We thank you very much. We look forward to seeing a beautiful flyover that is going to traverse Kampala. Come with more grants for us because the debt burden is choking. Bring more grants and our partnership should continue to flourish. I thank you very much.
Iki, you've given up? Iki.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also raise up to support the motion, but the move of the motion was narrowing it to northern Uganda. But I believe for what Japan has done for the general Uganda, everybody, every honorable member would live to appreciate. Therefore, the motion would change for Uganda, Parliament of Uganda, appreciating the Japan government and this agency for what they have done for the people of Uganda. Japan in particular has put its effort in areas which are very critical and very important in the lives of Ugandans. To mention, the government of Japan, especially JICA, has equipped all the health centers in Uganda. Most of the health centers in Uganda were equipped by the project funded by JICA, and it has done a tremendous work in that respect. So we appreciate as Ugandans that the JICA has done a lot for Uganda in areas of knowledge transfer to us who are technologically advanced. We know how much we are benefited from the knowledge transfer from government of Japan. Whatever they have done here, they have put in place projects of skilling people to transfer knowledge, to get them the knowledge so that they can live even when Japan retires their activities in Uganda. We really thank them for the effort. We commend them, and we look forward for more support in that aspect. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Bulambuli, Aleptong, Chiboga.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. For record purposes, I'm now in Elgon County, South.
Elgon. So Bulambuli is the Isaac.
Yes.
Isaac. Okay, then can you speak now that you have been...
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to support the motion by Honorable Onen that the Japanese, especially JICA, has done a lot, especially in education. I was a member of SESAMAT. SESAMAT is secondary science and mathematics project, which was started by JICA to support the science sector in improving the standards of education, in increasing technological advancement and innovation in Uganda and in Africa in particular. So I want to commend that your support has improved a lot, and that's why Uganda was encouraged to make sciences compulsory, and as I talk to many regions, especially Bugisu Bay region, we were able to produce very many science students, and more students doing science courses in universities and institutions. I want to call upon the government, because for us in Eastern, we're having very few universities, especially in the Bugisu Bay region. I would wish that the Japanese embassy assisted plus government to give us a university so that we can be in a position to embrace the technology which we had yearned and which these people had groomed since we actually sent very many students in universities. You have assisted in giving us vehicles in different projects. You have assisted the orphanages. You have assisted the people, especially the refugees in West Nile and northern part of Uganda, to ensure that at least their lives improve. This effort cannot be undermined, and therefore we are here to support you, but we call upon you to add more money in this country so that we should not be choked by loans, as one of my friends commented. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Now I use my discussion to allow Elgon.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Right
then,
Honorable Speaker.
Aleb Tong, then Chiboga. Then we proceed.
I do support the motion to thank the Japanese government for their assistance. In my constituency, in my district, not constituency, is constituency, Honorable Katenya, they have given us irrigation project. It's a grant. Honorable Speaker, it's along River Atari. It will serve Bugisu and the Kweni, Ulamburi and the Kweni. And I'm among the beneficiaries. Actually, tomorrow I'm handing over my title, which I have in the office, to give right of the program. We thank them, but this has taken 6 years. I think Uganda is the only country which it is slow in absorbing grants. It's a grant which has taken 6 years, but getting right over the way, it has been a problem. The problem has been the Ministry of Agriculture. They have hired a consultant, which consultant wants the villagers who are those PAPs, project affected person, to come to Kampala. Some of them have never reached even Mbale. Why do you expect them to come to Kampala? Until yesterday they called me in the morning. I've organized a group of them. We are handing over the site. I think by next week everything will be okay. On the other side of Bukedea and also Bulamburi, I'm talking about Bulamburi because I have been a member of parliament for Bulamburi for 10 years. I only created for him, that's why my brother Katenya is here, otherwise he couldn't be here. So the other side, there was also a similar project under the same assistance of JICA. It will help us to improve on rice growing and other cereal products. The flyover, some of us who are living that side, the jam which is here at the Koloko Tower, I hope when it's done, things will be normal. I support the motion and I thank JICA for the assistance. Thank you.
Aleb Tong.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to add my voice to support the motion and recognize the enormous contribution of JICA in expanding services in this country. I want to pick on one recent great event, enormous contribution coming from the area I come from, which is Lango sub-region. Just last week, JICA was able to hand over a 37 billion fully upgraded, fully equipped facilities in Gulu Regional Referral Hospital and Lira Regional Referral Hospital, which is serving up to 42,000 outpatients department. This is a great contribution. I think there is no better way of defining how we can secure the future of Ugandans than what JICA is doing. And this has greatly supported a region, a sub-region which has 9 districts with only 1 district hospital. And the regional referral hospital is now having increased capacity to be able to handle emergencies and also maternity services. I highly commend. I know that increasingly there is donor fatigue, but what you're doing as JICA is greatly commendable, that you're having very impactful programs in this country. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Chiboga.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. We used to refer to you as JICA, others JICA, but all the same, we are very grateful for the contribution you have given to our country. I one time worked with an NGO called Volunteer Efforts for Development Concerns. Between 2007 and 2013, we were working with JICA to enrich northern region. When everybody was like, Uganda, our poverty status is the same, JICA came out strongly and brought to the attention of Ugandans that northern Uganda, its poverty was far ahead of other regions. And they came up with programs of equal poverty reduction across the country. And during that time, we were fundraising with JICA on issues to do with value addition, agricultural value addition. And in case you wanted JICA to support you, you had to convince them that you are working together with the officials of the respective local governments. And it was mandatory that you provided proof that, for example, you're with the district surveyors and all that. And to me, I saw it very different from other civil society organizations and international funders. Looking out at an applicant independently. These ones were looking at an applicant together with the entire technical officials at local governments. And me as a Shadow Minister for Water and Environment, we are very grateful. Of recent, you worked to ensure that youth participate in environment management. When you worked on a project that you were referring to as waste is wealth, you engaged youth to collect waste, to sort it, to trade in it, and the proceeds were working to fulfill their health insurance, but as well cash, which helped them establish projects on briquettes. And for us, we see as, we look at you as initiatives that at least help our environment thrive, as well as improve the participation of youth in environmental management. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and please go ahead. We still need your support. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. I'll have Noya Obongi. I'll have Noya Obongi, Koboko, and Honourable Bwanika.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. For the record, I'm Tony Awany, Member of Parliament for Nuaya County. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to support the motion that has been moved by the Honourable Onen Charles. And I would also want to state and give a testimony to the great feat of architectural works that the Japanese government through JICA has done. In 1997, as a student of science at the Faculty of Science of Makerere University, we witnessed the best and the most qualitative building ever established on the campus of Makerere, the JICA building at the Faculty of Science. The building housed a state-of-the-art laboratory that gave a new meaning to research on the university. Right Honorable Speaker, little did I know that 20 years down the road, I would still encounter the same feat of great architectural and infrastructural development in my own home city of Gulu. I want to thank the JICA for midwifing the process of post-conflict recovery in northern Uganda. Just last week, Right Honorable Speaker, I happened to have visited Gulu University Faculty of Medicine. I was told that the infrastructural contribution that the JICA has done to the regional referral hospital has made one of the scientific research laboratories of the university almost attain level 4. We have been debating in the course of the COVID vaccines development in this country whether we have a laboratory that can be leveled at 4. But with what the Japanese government has done to the Faculty of Medicine and the Regional Referral Hospital of Gulu can make us be proud and say, yes, we have at least a laboratory level 4 that could do research in this country. We want to thank the JICA and the Japanese government for this support that they have given to the people of northern Uganda and also to the rest of this country. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
You already know there is
Yeah.
Obongi.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice to the other voices as we pay tribute to JICA for the contribution it has done to the people of Uganda. Dr. Bokadi George is my name. I represent the people of Obongi constituency, and I add my voice on behalf of the leaders and the people of West Nile for the tremendous work that JICA has done in this country in general, but in particular in West Nile, during hard times as well as during good times, by supporting both humanitarian and development interventions. Right Honorable Speaker, as we reflect on and pay a tribute to JICA, Japan, I'm told, is not well resource endowed as Africa, but they have been able to develop because of investing in knowledge, investing in technology, investing in excellency, and investing in total quality management. As we pay tribute to JICA, as the government and people of Uganda, I think we need to learn from them. My prayer is that in our partnership with JICA, we need to put a lot more emphasis in capacity enhancement through skilling Ugandans, through tooling Ugandans, through appropriate technology transfer, and through facilitating programs, projects, and services that will leave us stronger. I want to conclude by paraphrasing a commonly cited statement that I'm told is originated from Japan, that give someone a fish, that person will eat for a day. Teach that person how to fish, and give a fishing net, that person will eat fish for life. We pray that in our engagement with JICA, JICA teaches us how to fish. And in that way, will leave us stronger as Ugandans. I thank you. God bless you.
Ambassador Baba.
Thank you, Vice Honorable Speaker. For the record, my name is James Baba. I represent the people of Koboko County in this parliament. I also happen to have been a former ambassador of Uganda to Japan. Now, for the record, around 2000, because of financial difficulties, the government decided to restructure all Uganda embassies abroad and some for closure. One of the stations to be closed was going to be Tokyo in Japan, until somebody went to His Excellency the President and said, even if Tokyo is very expensive, one of the most expensive cities in the world, it would be a mistake to close the mission in Japan. Luckily, the President listened, and Tokyo was saved from closure. Other missions were closed. So we are celebrating JICA today because of that important decision. All these developments that have come after that was a result of reviving the mission in Tokyo, and I was privileged to serve there. Now, JICA is the development arm of the Japanese government. Like you said, you have DFID, you have so many others from other countries, but none of them compares with JICA with the quality of support and guidance they have given to our country for all those years. They fall in three categories. One, they focus on the element of human security with the multiplier effect. That's why they're in the health sector. Colleagues have talked about their support to hospitals. You go to Gulu, you go to Arua, you go to Lira, you find JICA's intervention of quality service there. You go to new hospitals like in Mubende, Mitiana, JICA has built world-class hospitals in those areas, which nobody talks about. In education, my colleague talked about Sesament. They brought in here teachers to teach our science and mathematics teachers because those are the foundation of the technical area. So in terms of supporting quality areas, nobody supports JICA. Secondly, there is emphasis on skilling and capacity building. Nakawa Vocational Training Institute is one such example. Before that, they used to send students, technical people,
Your courtesy to the former ambassador to Japan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The last point I want to make is that their support is concessional and for long-term grace period, 40 years and above. And I don't think we are getting that kind of support elsewhere. Right Honourable Speaker, the only regret I have is that while I was there, the Japanese government initiated discussions with our government about rehabilitating our railway system, our old railway system. They said that would be the most viable thing to revive the transport network in this country. But somehow, our technical people insisted on SGR, standard gauge railway, until they told them that one is a very expensive technology, very expensive venture, unsustainable, and therefore they grew cold feet over it. I hope Honorable Cheru is here from Ministry of Works. They can revive this interest so that we can rehabilitate our old railway network properly to serve the majority of Ugandans and to improve transport efficiency in this country. But I pay tribute to JICA for the support they have given to the Uganda government and for the solidarity they have shown to people of Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll now have Dr. Bwanika, Napak, Honorable Kateshumba.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm a Bible reader and a believer. There is an instance that Jesus healed 10 lepers, and only one came to say thank you. I want to join other colleagues in this house to say thank you to the Japanese people through JICA, but also to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving us also opportunity as a house, as the people of Uganda, to say thank you to the Japanese people. The testimonies of the work of JICA, of the taxpayers' money of the people of Japan, they are testimonies of their work. They are spread everywhere in this country. I interfaced with JICA when I was still at the School of Vet Medicine. They supported us in capacity building, and they were everywhere in Makerere University, including the wonderful science faculty that my colleague has ably testified. And now in Northern Uganda, we want to thank you so much. Northern Uganda needed those resources after so many years of war. We want to thank the people of Japan for standing with our brethren in Northern Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, as we seek to dialogue and debate on the Uganda we want, we must choose nations that we can benchmark. Nations that have got a history similar, a culture similar to that of Uganda. And Japan is one nation that we can choose to benchmark as we dialogue on the Uganda we want. Japan is the third richest nation in the whole world, with a GDP of $5+ trillion. And all of us know that Japan turned around their destiny after the World War. We have much to learn from the nation of Japan. I want to request, Right Honorable Speaker, that as we debate and dialogue on the Uganda we want. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, no, he's a former presidential candidate.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to ask through you, sir, and you, your office, that as we benchmark, we seek to dialogue on the Uganda we want. Japan has a history that is similar to Uganda. Japan has a rich culture that we can learn from. I want to request that it becomes part of the nation that we can benchmark. And as we have come to thank, you know, when the leper came back to thank Jesus, he blessed him more. Since the Japanese team is here, we request that more support comes, not only to other parts of the country, but also to the Parliament of Uganda. I beg to submit. Thank you, Right Honourable.
Napak.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues to applaud the Japan people for the diligent service, for the contribution they have made to the development of our country. Most important thing I applaud is the level of excellence in which they do their work. I have visited the roads in Gulu City. There is nowhere else I can take people to learn that good roads, high quality roads can be made than in Gulu City. We've seen a number of the infrastructure projects which have been done. It is a good job. Right Honourable Speaker, in an environment like ours, and a time like this where shoddy work is a normal, so getting a place where getting work of excellence is such a good thing that we cannot just wash away. We should applaud, we should appreciate, and so I appreciate the quality of the work. Right Honourable Speaker, the colleagues have testified that the work of the Japanese government has not only benefited northern Uganda, it has benefited Bunyoro. We've seen here the Ginger Bridge. Many parts of Uganda has a wall. Rule 61 allows us to amend a motion. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, we can amend to remove the specifics because it's about Uganda as a whole, so that we don't come back again to appreciate them for the work they're yet to do in Karamoja, so that we appreciate at once as a country. Right Honorable Speaker, I move that we amend the motion to take care of Uganda as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to add my voice to support the motion. In my previous role as the chairman of the World Customs Organization, I worked closely with the Japanese through the Secretary General of the WCO, but also here I recognize the support JICA gave, especially when it comes to the infrastructure projects at the borders, the marine unit, the capacity building that Japan has given. But on a different twist, perhaps, I think Japan is supporting Uganda because we have also been supporting Japan over the years. Our exports, our imports to Japan are over $350 million. Over the years, I think we have been contributing to the prosperity through the trade opportunities to the people of Japan. And therefore, I consider this support as part of, if I may say, reciprocity. Because if you look at our exports to Japan, according to the UN Comtrade, in 2020, we are still exporting at around $5.2 million. And perhaps this is a challenge to government to build on this goodwill that we have with the Japanese government, to negotiate more trade with the people of Japan so that we can see our exports increasing. I also know that Japanese government, through the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, which last sat in 2019, under the theme of advancing African development through people, technology, and innovation, has come through with a number of declarations and resolutions to support the African economies to develop. This is an opportunity for us as government, as the Ugandan government, to negotiate and partake the opportunities that Japan, which is one of the prosperous countries, has. We would like to see more tourists coming. We would like to see the exports increasing so that we have more income and more revenue so that we can build the infrastructure. There is no country which has developed in this world based on donor support. Japan is not going to do everything in every district. So I want to support the goodwill the Japanese government has given Uganda, but also urge government to build on that goodwill, to negotiate trade. Trade is more important than aid, and we need more trade with our development partners like Japan to see the prosperity sustainably for the people of Uganda. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are beginning to draw to a close in the process. I'll have Patch, Tungamo, Bueju, and the two honorable members from this side, and then we'll proceed that way. I'll come back here. Patch.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I also stand to support this motion.
Ugandans in Canada, we are here to serve you, regardless
JICA.
of what you are or where.
Right Honorable Speaker, Japan government through JICA has supported Uganda enormously in terms of development. JICA has supported Uganda in the areas of education, healthcare, refugees, capacity building, and so forth. This is all in the name of helping the people of Uganda. key to their performance is the clean track record of JICA. And this is very pertinent. We thank JICA for their integrity. To the people of Japan, we as leaders in this country, we are happy and grateful for your support. To the government of Uganda, I'm saying we should never lose this very good partnership with JICA, touching the lives of our people. I want to thank you, JICA. We applaud your government, and we wish you well. We thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Is that Ntungamo? Honorable Yona, which constituency do you represent?
Ntungamo municipality, Mr.
Exactly,
Speaker.
that's
sir.
why what I said, Ntungamo, or we want the municipality added also. Proceed.
In our best
Thank you,
ability.
Mr. Speaker.
Ugandans in Canada.
Mr. Speaker, I add my voice to thank the people of Japan and the investment arm of
which are
Japan,
performed
JICA,
exceptionally in innovative.
for choosing Uganda
Provided you are Uganda
as one of the
in
stable
our
countries
best
where they can
ability.
invest their money. In the same veins, I also want to thank our president who has stabilized our country such that these investors can come and invest their money without fear or favor.
Azar Bandali Jaffer.
I want to use one word as we thank. The support of Japan to Uganda, JICA, has been insurmountable, adorable, and
for 250 grams of the. Everyone deserves.
their support is not like, I don't want to mention other names, but these people of Japan have not interfered in the political atmosphere of this nation as they invest their money here. They have given us their money at the lowest rate, interest rate. They have given us grants. Some other people, when I was growing up, building a bridge, they would build at night, such that there is no one who can copy their technology transfer, their skills. These people have trained Ugandans. We can't thank them enough. However, I would also request delegation which has come from Japan, which is here with us, as you go back home, you also tell your parliament, thank Uganda for being your, for also consuming your loans, for consuming your vehicles, and please try to trade with us as usual. Thank you so much.
Honorable member, are you now negotiating for appreciation? I think let's disregard the last part of the member's remarks. We concentrate on what we are doing in appreciation of what the Japanese people have done for us. Buweju?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I think this is a very good day to have time to appreciate and thank someone who has been a partner and in a positive way for such a long time. Right Honorable Speaker, Buweju is not a frequent recipient of grants. There are not even very many NGOs, if they are there at all. But JICA, through a local NGO called KARA, came without much soliciting and looked at the nature of our schools, found they were needed. They constructed water tanks for a number of primary schools, among them Nyakahita, Chevaria, Nyachitoko, Revenge. And they were targeting schools mainly with girls. So when we are talking about the life of a girl child, JICA has gone to Buweju and touched on their lives. I find no reason and no hesitation in thanking JICA for being so positive. Right Honorable Speaker, I was here in the 9th Parliament when we were beginning on the Ginger Bridge to work on it. JICA was the center. It is unfortunate that I have heard when they were going to talk to deal with the Uganda, the rehabilitation of the railway, there was a disruption. And in the preceding debate, that's what is coming about the lack of the railway, which is causing part of the carnage on our roads. And the Japanese were ready to help us on that. I think we should revisit that one. But I want to thank the Japanese government, through JICA, for coming to Uganda to help us move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For record purposes, I'm Engineer Chobe Lukwinensko, Member of Parliament for Luka North. I'm here to support the motion and also thank JICA and the Japan government for the quality services they have rendered in most cases. That the people who have provided equipment which is still working even after they have left the project. I know most Ugandans are happy by their services in infrastructure and equipment because they are ranked always #1. Whatever they provide, if you can tell a Ugandan that they things from Japan, they will know that something of quality has come. On that note, I join the rest of the members to thank the Japan government for providing quality services and training and everything. I hereby submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. For recording purposes, I'm Kayondo Fred, Mukono South constituency. Honorable Speaker, I think I'm the most privileged one to talk about JICA because I worked as a porter on JICA project in my senior 6 vacation. And after that, I proceeded to Makerere University, where I spent 4 years in a JICA project, in a JICA building, when I was doing my degree in natural sciences. So I'm the right person to thank JICA. But Honorable Speaker...
That is why I picked you.
But Honorable Speaker, allow me to remind JICA that their student is now an MP in Mukono South. So I love the technology they put at the bridge. So I think you should follow your student because we need that bridge connecting Gaba to Mpata so that you can ease the transport and then you ease the road traffic we are having along Jinja Road. I always feel concerned when my JICA people are trapped in Jinja Road traffic jam. Therefore, I've got the right chance to tell you that if you connect Gaba, Tubule, Mpata, Ntenjeru, that road, that connection can ease the transport so that you don't get stuck in this Jinja Kenya highway traffic jam. But
no,
therefore, Speaker,
I think that one, you are addressing it to the wrong people. That one you address to this one.
Well, Speaker, I think, sir.
You don't have direct access to JICA now.
But Honorable Speaker, I was speaking to them as their student. And therefore, let me take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to direct it to the right people. Honorable Speaker, since it is a festive season, I always pity my people on Jinja Road Highway. There is a lot of traffic jam, Honorable Speaker. And then the access road that was put there to connect to Katosi, Chisoga, and what have you. Now it has been flooded by the jam, yet it was not meant for that.
Would you like to return to the motion?
Therefore, Honorable Speaker, in the presence of JICA and the right people, allow me request the JICA to follow up their student, whom they trained, who is now in Parliament, to see how he is faring in the constituency he has got. So I congratulate them and allow me say, they taught me one word in Japan, arigato gomaizu, meaning thank you very much in Japan. I beg to move, Honorable Speaker.
I think the clerk and the leadership of Parliament has to make a quick appointment for the honourable member to visit JICA offices. We'll do that, and then you can go there and have. Yes, Honourable.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Roland Ndiomjenyi, and I represent the people of Ruchiga. I stand to support the motion by thanking JICA for the development work that they have done in Uganda. Between 2012 and 2016, I happened to be the finance director for one of the solar companies in Uganda called Incafex, and JICA gave us jobs to extend solar power in St. Joseph's Hospital, Maracha, in Jinja Hospital, and Entebbe and Gomba hospitals. That project which we undertook for solar power in those hospitals helped a lot because people, at that time there was a lot of load shedding, but we managed, through JICA, we managed to reduce the problem tremendously, and people started dying from theaters. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to add on the voices of the different colleagues who have talked about zero tolerance to corruption in the JICA-supported projects. The integrity in their projects is overwhelming, and these things of kickbacks for projects are very minimal if they are there anyway, and therefore they exude a lot of integrity in the way they implement their projects. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank JICA and the Japanese government for allowing our people, the young people, to get skills in their universities, to get training from their universities. I'm aware of so many students who have been taken to Japan for further studies, both at master's level, PhD level, and undergraduate levels, and they have come back with enormous skills, which will definitely help this country to leap forward in terms of knowledge and skills. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much.
As I said earlier, we should be drawing to a close, and I still see many members who would like to speak. But I'll start with the Toroma, West Budama. Is he still here? And Honorable Karubanga. And then we move from there. Honorable members, we need to draw to a close. I see Isinjiro, I see all of you, but let's start with this, then we see how to proceed. I'll reduce the time to 2 minutes.
Thank you very much.
It starts with you, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. For record purposes, my name is Koluo Joseph Andrew, representing the people of Toroma County, Kataki District. A friend in need is a friend indeed, and that is JICA. I want to thank JICA for the enormous projects it has done to our country. My colleagues have already alluded, that is education, infrastructure, and so on. My colleagues, there is one thing which I want us to understand. Because of this, what JICA has done, a majority of Japanese have ended up coming to Uganda as tourists. And these Japanese are really high-income earners. I want now to implore government to take this opportunity to tap this market through UTB, market our country, so that a majority of these tourists from Japan come to our country. Everything will be okay. Finally, because of time, I come from Katakwi, and a majority of the schools, because of heavy rainfall, are totally dilapidated, more especially the classrooms. I kindly request JICA to extend its hand, especially in renovating these houses. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. I rise in support of the motion, and I want to state one thing. The contribution Japanese government made through their volunteer program. Mr. Speaker, I want first of all to appreciate the appreciation that people have made to the Japanese government. All that I've said, I fully concur. Allow me to add that when I joined government, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, I was given the task of coordinating the UN program. And within the UN program, there was UN volunteer program. My other colleague was responsible for the bilateral cooperation, and in there was Japanese volunteer program as well. Whereas the Japanese volunteer program came in with personnel to fill the skills gap, to fill the manpower gap, also to build the capacity of Ugandans in various sectors of the economy. Over time, their volunteer program was growing at a supersonic speed, whereas the one I was coordinating, the UN volunteer program, was actually contracting. I therefore want to say that given the example the Japanese government has shown us, we could, as Ugandans, also emulate and come up with our own national volunteer program and strengthen it on the basis of the volunteer spirit. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Karbanga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity. David Karubanga is my name. I'd like to thank the Honorable Member for raising that motion. And indeed, I would like to add my voice to the colleagues who have appreciated JICA for the development programs. Right Honorable Speaker, I'd like to specifically talk about the energy sector. Indeed, one member has already talked about their contribution to energy access through renewable energy solutions, but I also wanted to add that they have funded many projects in the distribution networks so as to increase energy access. This one has happened through a means of energy, REA, and indeed they have helped us increase the percentage of electricity access to Ugandans. JICA has also helped to reduce losses, that is by increasing energy efficiency. I know during the time we had load shedding, they gave a grant of energy savers to Ugandans, and indeed that was a moment we needed this because we had a critical problem of power shortage. Indeed, in the same sector, they have helped strengthen the distribution and the transmission networks. Many of these substations around you see have helped to
okay. You didn't ask for extra time, so it's okay. Can we now stay down? You have just can we just go through the members who are not yet spoken? I'll start with the Honorable. Please, let's keep it brief, then we go in that order and finish. No new person can rise. No new member can rise. You risk being ignored.
Okay. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I want to support the motion to thank the Japanese government, especially through the project of JICA, for the developments that they have done in this country. I want to thank them especially for what they have done in my region of Sebei, especially in Soy County, where Chamaswet represents. Because Chamaswet is not here, I would like to talk on behalf of him. In Soy County, this is what they have done. They have established a very big project, an irrigation project for rice, which is still ongoing up to now. They are even leveling grounds for the production of rice. They have established boreholes for many farmers, both solar boreholes, solar pumped boreholes, and those which are manually pumped. They have also supported sunflower farmers by giving them oil pressing machines. So I want to thank them so much for their generosity. This really gives us a lot of challenge because you are doing for us very good work and we are doing less to you. But we want to thank you. We pray for God to bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I join others in commending the mover of this motion, for it is absolutely civilized for one to say thank you when something good has happened. And it's therefore right that the House commends the Japanese government and the people of Japan for the support they have given us. It seems to me, sir, that the Japanese know what God has said about mankind, that there is more honor in giving than receiving. This is a lesson we Ugandans must learn. It is more honorable to give than to receive. Receiving on a permanent basis has no honor at all. And the lesson we should therefore draw, for it is true that the Japanese want us to reach a level of self-sufficiency. We cannot go on and on receiving for things we should, under normal circumstances, be able to do for ourselves. And so it's a lesson I appeal to members to learn very, very quickly. There is more honor in giving than receiving. We commend the people of Japan and their government for they desire that Ugandans reach that level of not receiving, but also being able to give to those who are not able. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is essential that we say thank you, but it is also a matter that we invite our self-introspection, that we cannot go on on others, Mr. Speaker. And so as we commend the Japanese, as we say thank you, it should also invite us to say it can't go on like this. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, you know the order. Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For record purposes, I'm Arnie Twerauben, MP Isingiro West. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here to support the motion, especially in the environmental sector. Right Honorable Speaker, Japan, especially through JICA, they have promoted what we call non-consumptive utilizations of forests. They are training and habituating gorillas and chimpanzees, especially in the forest of Karinju in Ushenyi, in the forest of Budongo in Masindi and Bugoma. This one attracts tourists just to watch when other countries and other nations are here to import our timber and destroy our environment. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish the Japanese continue with that good heart, continue with the non-tolerance to corruption. Then, if we copy that example, our government of Uganda, we shall be the best. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, for record, I'm called
Modoi Isaac. I represent the people of Lutsesha constituency. I want to thank the mover of this motion. And I think, Right Honorable Speaker and members, the spirit of thanking and appreciating should be upheld at all times. When I was a young officer, I was a chief administrative officer, and Uganda adopted the policy of decentralization. Our country identified 3 sectors which are affecting this country: the NRM government, the road sector, infrastructure, the health, and education. I was among those officers who benefited in the training of tackling those areas. You would appreciate most of us come from rural areas with the feeder roads, which are extremely in poor state. The feeder roads was a challenge, and they remain a challenge. They did research, the Japanese did research. They did not come in with heavy machinery, but they gave us tractors with the tipping system behind. And they trained us on labor-based methods of maintaining our roads. I think we are the best in the region. Most of the countries came to visit us to see how we are managing the roads. I want to thank you so much. They created regional workshops, rather repair workshops for our tractors in Busoga region, which was in the Bugembe, Soroti, and the West. In other words, they were pooling and training our own people to repair the machines and operate them. You'd wish to know that those young officers who are trained, like one of them who has just said across there, are now the ones managing garages all over the country. So in other words, they build the capacity.
Yes, next honorable member, please. Claire, then we move.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable
Okay.
Speaker. For record purposes, I'm Wandrasi Robert, representing Bungo County South in Mbale District. Honorable Speaker, I want to add my voice by supporting the mover of this motion. At the same time, appreciating the partnership of the Japanese government through JICA agency. Honorable Speaker, at that time, I happened to be the leader in Mbale District, but I want to share with you, JICA trained quite a number of our people, younger men, youths, in the construction of roads using Maram through Mount Elgon Technical. We applied a skill called labor-based technology, whereby quite a number of our roads were Maram. That is to say, using Maram. However, Honorable Speaker, as we talk now, given the terrain of Mbale and other eastern districts, as we talk now, Maram disposts have gotten depleted. We no longer have Maram. Honorable Speaker, how I wish to interest our colleagues, the Japanese, that they would again develop interest in the low-cost sealing technology, whereby if they can agree to come and continue giving both technical and financial support in helping us work on these roads using low-cost sealing with some little tarmac and affordable items that they use on time. Honorable Speaker, also they drilled for us boreholes. But Honorable Speaker, given the rate at which these boreholes are getting broken, I would again interest them with their technology now that we are in the new era, that if they could come up with the solar motorized boreholes, at least that's the project that I pledged to spearhead in the area where I come from. If they can partner up with us so that they can come up with the motorized solar system whereby we can put on these boreholes and we have piped water, whereby a villager will be just in his village under a tree and will access water without manually pumping the boreholes or dancing for the borehole before a borehole can give them water. No, me, I call it borehole dancing by use of shoulders in Lumasava. If that can be appreciated, Mr. Speaker, we shall be so grateful, as I so much appreciate JICA for your continuous support to the people of Uganda. Thank you so much.
Isingiro District.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for this opportunity to say a word. For record purposes, my name is Claire Mugumia. I'm a woman member of Parliament representing Isingiro District. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to add my voice from my colleagues to thank Japanese government through JICA for having supported the country on its road to development, on its road to the middle income status. Right Honourable Speaker, JICA is not a common occurrence in Isingiro, but I would like to take this opportunity to let JICA people know that Isingiro is one of the big districts in the country, composed of 30 sub-counties. So we welcome you, we need you. But one other thing I would like to appreciate most about JICA is the comprehensive nature of the support they have given to Ugandans. They have supported education, health, roads, agriculture. So we would like to implore you to keep coming. Much as we have done a lot, we still need you, especially in the rural district of Isingiro. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
No, you're not telling them to keep coming. You are telling them to stay because they're already here. Just urge them to stay. Thank you. Yes, Honourable.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Afidra Ronald, Member of Parliament for Lower Madi. I want to thank the mover of the motion and join the House in thanking JICA for the tremendous work that we've all alluded to. But in particular, I want to thank JICA. This week from West Nile, the team from Ministry of Health, together with the JICA, moved to open a magnificent new OPD together with a casualty unit for the regional referral hospital. Right Honourable Speaker, this hospital has been serving and is continuing to serve about more than 3 countries. We have Congo, we have South Sudan, and of course the refugees within the region. Their support, which is in relation to the need that this government identified in strengthening the health sector in the 3 regional referral hospitals, came timely. However, much as the hospital has been equipped with state-of-the-art equipment, I can report to the House that Arua Regional Referral Hospital is likely not to utilize the equipment as the casualty and OPD was opened due to 2 factors. One, some of the equipments need LAN. LAN is it an ICT network, which is work for us. And then the second is insufficient and inadequate power that the region is experiencing. And through you, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to urge government to support continuously these efforts by JICA. As I end, Right Honourable Speaker, just 1 minute, yes. One particular observation I've had with JICA is every strategic undertaking by JICA creates employment for the people of Uganda once the projects are done, whether in education, whether in engineering, but these projects come at a cost. And therefore I want to urge government to make a commitment for the continuous use and upgrading and support of all these projects so that they can be able to serve the people of this country, whether in the health sector, whether in the infrastructure, the roads, whether in education, whether in skills development. It comes at a cost, and therefore the House should be able to support continuously these needs of the population. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Very much, honourable members. We could bring that to a close. Honourable member for Dokolo, you never stood even once, so you are not on my list of people who are support. You never expressed interest in speaking to this motion. Honourable Onen, there are issues which have arisen from your motion, and I think that is part of why the member for Dogola would like to speak. You have discovered that your region is not only good labor that has come back to thank. The whole country have received some support and help from JICA, and they want you to enlarge your motion to accommodate their activities in the whole country. And two, your prayer number 4 imports statement that could be misleading and can be misconstrued on different scales. The request is that you remove that statement prayer number 4, because it contains some things that are fundamentally important but not correct. So you might want to consider dealing with your main motion, and also consider removing prayer number 4. I'm going to give you time to do that while the leader of the opposition speaks, and then the leader from the government side.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, let me join colleagues to appreciate and say thank you to JICA for the sacrifice, for the generosity that you have offered to the people of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, Thanksgiving is a form of prayer. And in essence, members, there has not been any member that has failed to support. All have been giving thanks to JICA cooperation to Uganda for the investments, for the projects of development that you have brought to this country. And therefore, it is not for nothing that Japan is referred to as the land of the rising sun, Nippon. Nippon in Japan literally means the land of the rising sun. Actually, in the world, Mr. Speaker, sir, the competition is between New Zealand and Japan, where the sun rises first in the whole world. But I think it is Japan. Mr. Speaker, Bududa district, the disaster-prone district of Bududa, I would like to refresh the memory of the embassy members that have come from the embassy of Japan in the Republic of Uganda. That Bududa has a hospital. It is a disaster-prone district. But when I was concluding my tenure of office as district chairperson of that disaster-prone district, Japan, JICA, cooperation to Uganda, refurbished. This is a hospital which was constructed way back in the administration of the then president, the late Apollo Milton Obote. And it had, for donkey years, not even tested paint until JICA refurbished that hospital. Long live JICA cooperation to Uganda. Mr. Speaker, sir, JICA, you are known for honoring your pledges. On that particular function, it wasn't a pledge as such, but it was generated. It was a pledge generated through a memorandum, which yours truly read to you. Given that this is a district with the complicated terrain, a promise of an ambulance that would help in the case of emergency operations. It has not been yet delivered, but I will come and remind you in due course. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am captivated by JICA cooperation to Uganda. Its primary focus, as we talk, on improving the environment to attain economic growth. And you know, as I was scanning through the disaster vulnerability atlas, Bududa is one of those districts that are captured as a hotspot of environmental degradation, which is yet also to be a beneficiary from that fund. So I want to use this opportunity to thank you very much for creating that fund for improving the living environment, which is being ravaged by all manner of natural and man-made calamities. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, we have received countless offers from Japan as a country of scholarships. And I was compelled to go through the selection criteria, the eligibility. It is so generous and so fair. It is only that the ministry that domiciles these scholarships has issues which in no time I might come up with a motion to compel that ministry to furnish this house with the list of beneficiaries. Because as the generous Japan offers freely and puts no stringent criteria, it is a complete opposite with the ministry, Mr. Speaker, sir. But I want to conclude by thanking very much the JICA Corporation to Uganda and wishing you the best of stay, the best of health and happiness. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Right Honorable.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to begin by thanking you for creating space on the order paper for this motion, which has given us an opportunity to publicly thank the people of Japan through JICA for the support that has been given to this country. But I also want to thank the movers and the seconders, and in especial I want to thank the House. We have all, those who have been able to catch your eye, have all talked in support, and have also been able to tell the country that different parts of the country have benefited from the resources from Japan, either in form of loan or grant. I want to thank you, members. I also want to thank the people of Japan, the leaders of Japan, for the mutual respect you accord us, we accord you, we accord each other as countries. We are a country. We have cooperated, we have worked with several partners, development partners, but at times some want to go beyond the boundaries, but you have respected the sovereignty. I want to thank you, JICA. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you, JICA, for all of the projects in health, education, in infrastructure, and in environment that you have been able to extend help. But most importantly, we have also taken lessons from you as government on the issue of
microphone. Microphone. Clarification is for you, madam.
Honorable Semju, let me build my point, please. Right, Honorable Speaker, the issue of ensuring monitoring and evaluation such that
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And the acting leader of government business, I don't know for how long. Mr. Speaker, she has made a very strong statement that there are people who help Uganda, but they go beyond the boundary or the boundaries. I would like to seek clarification from her. What are those boundaries?
because JICA tomorrow may also go beyond the boundaries if you don't tell them what these boundaries are. Can we know what these boundaries are? So JICA doesn't have to go against these boundaries. And to help us know those who have gone against those or beyond those boundaries.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member, for seeking that clarification. Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Semuju Nganda Ibrahim is a good student of diplomacy because he's also coupled in the schedule, in the curriculum for mass communication, for which he's a graduate and he's a practicing one, and he knows all of these. When I'm talking about boundaries, I'm not talking about the boundaries between the different countries. I'm talking about the boundaries that are spelled out in the cooperation between the two countries, and you have also experienced it, Honorable Semuju, in your constituency. You see sometimes certain things happening, and you also put questions to government, but government may not come out clearly to explain to you what is behind it because we are bound by the rules of diplomacy. Right, Honorable Speaker. JICA and the government of Japan have really been very, very useful to us. I was building the point of monitoring and evaluation because the way they evaluate, the way they monitor the implementation of their projects to make sure that there is good and visible value for money in the communities where the projects are is something that we have also taken on as a country, as a unit under the Prime Minister that is responsible for monitoring and evaluation. And I want to thank them because they've cooperated with us, and that is something where we have been having gaps as a government. I also want to thank them so much for the technological transfer, but in a special way to thank you for the training scholarships that you give us, meaning you want us to develop, you want us to get technology, you help us to build, you help us to work today, but also build our own capacity for the future. I want to thank you for, as government, for looking into the future and helping us to be part of you, but also to be more sustainable in our own development as a team, as a country. Their loans are usually highly concessional, but they also give us grants. And in some cases, the concessional goes to 50%, which is something very good. We want to applaud you for that. Thank you so much. Their lending or supporting portfolio may not be as big as that for other development partners, but whatever size it is, they emphasize the issue of effectiveness and value for money. I want to take this opportunity, Right Honorable Speaker, to thank once again the people of Japan, and on behalf of NRM government, I pledge we shall continue working together, supporting the two countries, especially in terms of trade, because that is a relationship that puts us on the same table as when it comes to negotiations as equals. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for maintaining the relationship with Japan, but also in a special way to thank the former heads of state for this country, Uganda, because the relationship did not only begin with us as NRM government, it also started before NRM took leadership. I want to thank our former leaders because what they started, we've maintained, we've sustained, and we promise to keep improving every day. I want to thank all the development partners who work with the NRM government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. It has been an elaborate debate. As you can see, I gave priority to this. It was not supposed to be today. It was on business to follow, but given the significance of this motion, I brought it forward. And two, I've given you sufficient time to have this debate, because in the opinion of the presiding officer, it's a very important debate, recognizing the contribution of a partner that has stood with us in thick and thin, rain and shine. They are here. And it's only fair that when we decide to talk about them, we give it good time. And that's exactly what we have done. Thank you very much. Now, Honorable Onen, you have two issues to sort out before we take a decision.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for accepting this motion to be moved. You have really helped me to present this motion, and I want to thank my honorable colleagues for supporting this motion. There was a philosopher, an African philosopher called Mbiti, once said, "I am because you are, and because you are, therefore I am." I only insinuated the debate. I am aware that the contribution of Japan JICA to this country are quite enormous. It has touched the lives of so many Ugandans in different regions, and that's why people have stood up to give acknowledgement of the contributions Japan has given to their constituencies. I accept that this motion be amended for the good of our country, and as has been requested by the honorable colleague Faith, to accommodate the contributions which Japan government has given, not only to northern Uganda, but to all the regions of this country. I would like also to request, Honorable Speaker, you know, prayer, it is just an assent of the human heart to a supreme being. Now, in this case, the Speaker. In my prayer number 4, I ask that this Parliament of Uganda, that Parliament should evaluate and assess the major loan agreements and ascertain the risk on socio-economic progress of the country to avoid the risk of giving up national assets. So in this regards, I would like to request that the statement, as is the case to the international airport, be removed, but the rest remain.
Members? Okay, can you remove that from the record then? Can you restate that prayer for my purposes and the record's purposes? The new one now.
So the new one should be Parliament of Uganda, that Parliament of Uganda to evaluate and assess the major loan agreements and ascertain the risk on socio-economic progress of the country to avoid the risk of giving up national assets. Full stop.
Would that be fair? No, I think the whole idea of coming to this national asset, the risk. Yes. Honorable Samuju?
Mr. Speaker, this motion, my understanding, is a motion to say thank you. The things that are not going on well may actually not be part of JICA. In my view, they are misplaced if they are going to be housed in this motion. My proposal is to have the whole of that prayer go away. The member know, or will help him to know where he can house it properly.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, seconded.
No. You have accessed the microphone before, Ambassador. But being former ambassador of Japan.
But I want to support what Honorable Semuju has said. This is exactly what the Right Honorable Minister of that portfolio was talking about, going beyond boundaries. You know, this element of assessment touching on the value does not apply to JICA in view of the praises and appreciation we have given let it remain appreciation and giving thank you to the government and people of Japan for the relations we have had. So that amendment should be expunged from the motion so that we are all home and dry. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nen. Item 4 should not be part of the prayers.
I accept.
You accept?
Yes.
Okay, honorable members, the title of the motion has been amended. Did you amend it? What did you say?
Yes. This is how it should read. That a motion for resolution of Parliament to upload the development assistance and cooperation of Japanese International Cooperation Agency and other development agencies in Uganda.
Full stop.
Yes.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The motion that I now propose for your decision is for resolution of Parliament to upload the development assistance and cooperation of Japanese International Cooperation Agency and other development agencies, Uganda. That is the motion for your the decision. Will those in favor say aye? To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Japan, for support, for standing with us all the time and throughout. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 6, response by Minister to urgent question, Minister of Internal Affairs, on the fatalities arising from incensed bomb grenade explosions in Nakaseke district.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, this is a matter that arose in October and was also followed by other similar incidents. I ran through them as they happened. The first one was on 29th of October 2021, where there was an explosion at Segalie village in Segalie parish in Semuto sub-county in Nakaseke district, at the home of one Kaliango Mark, a builder. It was reported in that incident that one kid died on the spot, followed by 2 other fatalities in the hospital. The victims were Chiua Pathias, aged 11, Odong Shield, aged 10 months, and Chirinji Michael, aged 14 years. Police took over the scene and did the investigations, had one person arrested, but one prime suspect named Adomat Robert is on the run, and it is reported that there was contention over a child between one of the suspects, Adomat, and Nantale Peace, a daughter in that home. The said child was one of the victims, the one called Odongo Shield. Adomat had gone there reportedly a month ago to demand for the child, but the family declined, and he reportedly left in a rage. Honorable Speaker, members, forensic analysis will help to reach a conclusion on the type of explosive, but by the accounts of witnesses, it looked like a grenade which killed the victims. This will have to be corroborated with other circumstantial information, as well as apprehension of the suspect now on the run, to inform final action on the case. This far looks like a crime of passion, using this explosive object that was brought and left with the old lady in the house. However, concrete conclusions will be drawn after all the pieces of information are woven together. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, other than this incident, which was brought to this house by the Honorable Sarah Kiinji, Honorable Luta Maguzi also raised the issue of similar incidents of unexploded ordinances
in other places, including the one at Kapeka, also in Nakaseke, the one in Kasese, at Rukochi, and another one in Tirinyi. These two claimed one life, the one at Kapeka, and injuries to some people. These unexploded ordinances have been there and are usually disarmed or destroyed by our demolition experts when reported early. However, following these incidences, which unfortunately at that time caused more alarm because of being unfortunately connected to the terror attacks that happened that time, need more public awareness and how to deal with them when seen, so that the community can call in our people to disarm them. The matter of compensation of the victims is a cross-government issue that can be handled through the appropriate government organs. That's what I want to report for now. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. This is an update. See, we have had these engagements before, but we keep updating ourselves of how far we have gone and what could still be done. I see West Bukonjo West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Minister for Internal Affairs for the job you and your team are putting in place. My only thing, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that General is familiar with warfare. And in warfare, you focus on capabilities. Number one could be defensive capability. Two, offensive capability. Three, sustainment capability. Four, sustainability capabilities. There are so many capabilities in warfare. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, after appreciating the submission from the minister, I'm light with the fact that when the enemy wants to attack, God forbid, they'll never make a signal. Every time I pass or I drive along our roads, I get concerned. Some of these fuel or gas stations are not manned in terms of security. If there is anything that should worry this nation, number one on your list, General, should be the gas stations that are not secured. Now, having gotten into a shock that we had where evildoers exploded bombs all over the city, I expected Internal Affairs, the leadership there, and those that support you in your very important work, to ensure that also your focus goes to the gas stations. Because everybody knows, Mr. Speaker, sir, that one gas station going up in flames will be just a disaster for the entire nation. Sir, you talk about money, but those are commercial projects. You can assign adequate security to each gas station so that at least there we know, because we can never be sure when the enemy will strike and how they will strike. Of course, God forbid. I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that we keep on our toes to ensure that we're prepared enough to handle any imagined or present challenge that could confront our nation and as far as security is concerned. But I want to really applaud Minister and the Minister of Internal Affairs for the job well done. I appreciate it, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, you want to respond to that?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Member who has raised those pertinent issues, but which are wider and not necessarily limited to my docket, but very pertinent nevertheless. Issue of gas stations, I think, is right. They are vulnerable, but there are also many. There are many. So there are issues of clearance, there are issues of SOPs, how to manage these vulnerable points. There are issues of urban planning, which I think can be comprehensively tackled across government so that we inform the way forward. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Next item. Wemiaga, on what matter do you raise?
Right Honorable Speaker, I was seeking clarification on the minister's statement. Right Honorable Speaker, year in, year out, the Minister of Internal Affairs has been putting on the wish list the storage bank for all the explosives and the unexploded devices. But year in, year out, it has remained on paper. They have not effected it. So bad that there is no any proper storage as a country that we have, even in this Kampala, for all materials, for all bombs, and it was supposed to be under the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I had thought that probably he would give a hint on what they intend to do to have all the explosives under proper government storage. Number two, Right Honorable Speaker, you're aware, and members, that this country is on a recovery process from the periods of war after many years. But it is surprising that even where the unexploded bombs of 1979 are still around, has government taken any deliberate effort to ensure that they comb areas and places of war where those bombs were littered and they are a danger to the community? Look at the northern Uganda. After the conclusion of the LRA war, many bombs were buried, but apparently there is no effort being taken to ensure that there is a technical intervention to search for all the bombs in the theater of war. Those that remained unexploded in the camps where the army was stationed, they litter everywhere, literally, where there has been a trace of war. So are you, Honorable Minister, are you being proactive? Are there any steps being taken by your ministry to ensure that where there has been war, you take deliberate effort to comb the area, you use the equipment, the modern equipment, to detect particularly the buried guns and bombs, so that once people go back to their normal lives, they don't have such fatalities arising out of the many, actually thousands of the bombs that remain littered and around for the communities. Is there such a program, right?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Sechikubo. There has been such an exercise, only that it has been in batches, especially as regards the former war zones like northern Uganda.
Please adjust the microphone so that we can.
similar exercises to sweep, if I can call it sweeping, of these former war zones have taken place, but by the MOD, not Internal Affairs. Luero Triangle was never swept, unfortunately, and I think it's a matter we can do together with the Ministry of Defense. About the storage of explosives, I think that one will be adequately addressed in the new law, in the offing, regarding both military and commercial explosives. So it will come, and I think it will adequately provide the policy framework to handle that matter.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Ichwero, you used to speak as a minister or as MP for Muria? Or both?
General, just to supplement my honorable colleague, the Minister of State for Internal Affairs. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, there are two types of demining: humanitarian demining and military demining. Once a place is polluted, sometimes the army sweeps, and when the army gets out of the place, it may not have swept the entire place 100%, and therefore the population may return to a place which continues to remain relatively insecure. Therefore, humanitarian demining comes in place. The government of Uganda, with the support of the Danish government, had a program to undertake humanitarian demining, and I was privileged to lead the process, particularly in many parts of the Rwenzori, the North, and West Nile. Just like the General has correctly observed, not much was done in the Luero Triangle. So humanitarian demining actually took place. That's why, Mr. Speaker, there are those hills where the LRA at least had attempted to contaminate with mines next to Lamuo, and it was a very concerted effort of the government of Uganda that made it possible for that place to now be reoccupied by humans, and now cultivation is going on. But I also want to make it abundantly clear that even with humanitarian demining, with all the sophistication, it is sometimes not possible, Mr. Speaker, to do 100% demining. There will be some explosives that may not be detected, but can be triggered by either fire or a lot of pressure. Some of them just shrapnels, and that is what continues to happen even in Cambodia up to today, despite the fact that the Khmer Rouge stopped fighting many years ago. So, but like the minister said, maybe it is important to give a look particularly to the Luero Triangle and some other areas. I thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Look at the order papers. None of them can be active today because the responsible people are not here. House adjourned to tomorrow, 2 o'clock.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Senku points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Senku points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senku points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs,